Hey everybody, it's Indigon and I am back with a penny box hunt. Unfortunately, I did not record all of this. Now, I say that because I didn't expect to need to record any of it. This was a very old penny box I had. It was mixed. It had some bank wrap rolls and some customer rolls. It had, but when I started hunting it this time, because I've started and stopped a couple times, it had $20 in customer wraps and $20 in bank wrap rolls, but I had added to and hunted a few rolls here and there multiple times in this box. So this box, and this is a weird way to do a video, is already hunted. That being said, I know what I got out of each roll. So I did have a few pocket finds that I had kept aside, like this 22 with a strike through. This did not come in the box, but I'm gonna call this a full penny box hunt, even though it was technically only $40. But again, I had other finds that I'm adding to it. A lot of words, sorry, but just kind of letting you know that this has already been hunted. It was a mixed box plus some change finds. So I'm gonna go over these finds and then kind of let you know what each set of rolls look like. The change finds really are this strike through on 22. You can see it right there in the date, and I will pull that up under the scope in a minute. And then these 5 stacks came from the bank wrap rolls. The customer wrap rolls didn't really have anything to speak of. There were no wheat cents in the customer wrap rolls. Very little copper in some of them, and then some of them were just loaded with copper, but no varieties or anything. So I'm thinking that those were somebody else's dump from a previous hunt. But I still had some nice coins that I can use when we get to it to plug into the Memorial and Shield Scent albums. So I'll do that at the end, but let's go ahead and get the scope set up and I'll show you what we found. Okay, so the first find, like I said, is going to be a change find, and it's this 22 that has a strike through right through the date, and I do not believe that is got any raised metal to it. I think if it was post mint, it would probably be through the plating, but I believe this is a strike through. I may be wrong, correct me if I am, please, but I'm not seeing any raised metal anywhere on the coin. And it's in okay shape. It's not perfect, not great, but it's not bad. There are a few hits and contact marks out here on the coin, and it does have some circulation to it. But if it is what I think it is, and I think it is a struck through, I think it's in pretty nice shape, and I think it's a good find. So there's that one. Next up, we had a 1971 Denver, and this is in the first of the bank wrapped rolls, and it has a misaligned obverse die. It's about 5% off, and I'm going to go ahead and throw that under the scope as well, so you can see that extra double rim there and see how it just kind of fades out, and then by the end of truss the rim is completely gone. Over by the date is almost off the edge, the bottom of the bust is off the edge, and then the rim picks back up around 6 o'clock. This one, let me zoom back out a little bit. This one, like I said, is about 5% off center, but the reverse is fairly well centered. Slightly off center in the opposite direction. It does have a little tiny bit of that doubled rim, but I think that's just because it was trying to compensate for the obverse die being so far off. But pretty nice, decent condition. Glad it's on a copper and not a zinc, because it would probably not be in as good a shape for this much circulation. Got a little tiny bit of red hiding out in the Memorial. Had a 22 Philadelphia with struck through grease up here in the United States and of. You see America's pretty much unaffected. Again, I'll throw that one under the scope real quick. So let's see what we got here. All right. The bottom of the U, bottom of United's there a little bit. The top is almost completely gone. Same with States. Of is almost completely gone. And then you got America is almost unaffected. Nothing huge, nothing major. Coin's in decent shape. Nothing really to write home about, but it was a find. I did keep it aside. And again, that was in the same set of rolls as the 71 Denver, and also this coin. So this is a normal 2024 Philadelphia. And you see how the date looks on that one. This is the one I found. I believe this is doubling, and I'm going to kind of point out where I think it is. So you see what looks like some notching here and here on the 4. Got some splits down here on the bottom of the 2s. They're fatter in this direction. You got what looks like a cat's eye in the 0. And when you turn the coin, because it's a little hard to see that direction, it doesn't really change. So it still looks like it's split here and here and on the bottoms of the 2s. This one isn't listed on Wexler's or Variety Vista. I didn't see any other apparent doubling on this one. I didn't see any doubled eye or doubled ear or anything. Liberty looks pretty normal to me. I'm not an expert on Lincolns, and In God We Trust looks pretty normal as well. Does have what looks to be some die deterioration doubling, which kind of threw me off at first. I thought that might be it, but it looks like it's got that splitting to it. If I can get the angle right. So you just see that extra thickness. See the splitting in the top of the 4 there. But and just look at the general size difference in that opening right there of the 4. So see that size right there, and then this is the other one to compare it to. This one's just bigger, right? It's bigger. The letters or the numbers are thinner on that first one than they are on this one. So I believe we have an unlisted double die on a 24 Philadelphia. And that is awesome, and I will probably end up sending something to Dr. Wiles on that one and see if he would like to look at it and possibly attribute it. Next set of rolls had a 2019, and again I have one for reference. So this is the reference, and you see the way that looks, and then this is the one I found, and you see it's kind of got some oblong to it. So this looks thicker than down here, and this looks thicker than down here. So it looks like it's a kind of a northeast southwest shift. A little bit extra thickness down here, and then the top. I believe this is a very minor DDO. I couldn't really see anything in Liberty. Didn't really see anything in the In God We Trust, but do see a little bit in that date. It's not the one I was looking for. It's not the big one, whatever one that is, but it is a minor DDO on a 2019. And then next up, have a 1995 struck through grease, and you can kind of see it some on the obverse. And this coin's in really nice shape too. And there's a little bit of struck through grease on the reverse, but the reason for this one is in the word Liberty. That B is completely gone, like not even hardly a trace if you're looking at it straight on. Now you can kind of see a little ghost image there, but the B is gone, and the date is basically half of it is gone. You can kind of see, again, you can see the 95 when you look at it at an angle, but this one's pretty good for a grease strike, in my opinion. And then we had a couple more finds. I'll zoom in for those. So we had a 73 Canadian. It was the only Canadian of the hunt, and the only two wheats of the hunt were in this set of 5 rolls as well, a 45 Philly and a 53 Philly. Very, very light on those, and that grease strike in that one. And then the last 5 rolls only gave us a damaged coin, and the only reason I kept it is because of how thick it was, and it was creating a huge gap in the roll. Otherwise I would have just thrown it away, which I will now. But overall, I think that was pretty good for $20 in customer wrap rolls plus some pocket fines. And I will be doing an actual full uncirculated box in the coming weeks, and I will post that, and I will actually do a little bit better job on the video on that one. So sorry this looks kind of thrown together. Let me take the nicer coins that we found, check for the album, and I will bring you in on that. Alright, so the shield scents are sorted, and we're going to have a 2010 and a 2010 Denver, no 2011s, 2012 no Denver, 13 no Denver, 14 Philly and Denver, no 15s, a 2016 out of Philly, 17 Philly and Denver, 2018 Philly, no Denver, both 2019s, just the 2020 Philadelphia, the 21 Philly and Denver, and that 21 has a really nice tone to it. Didn't really go for toning, but that one was just clean and nice. So it had both 22s, both 23s, and the 23, I think I'm going to go with the one that's slightly lower grade just because of the reverse tone. See all that orange in that? The reverse on that one is gorgeous. This one right here I think is probably a slightly like a point or two higher, but it just looks normal. I think this one's going to win on the tie break. So haven't made my mind up yet on that one, but both 24s and the 25 out of Philadelphia. So pretty good start. Only missing, what's that, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10 coins so far out of this album. And I did already have a 22 Philadelphia in this album. That was the only coin in here so far. I will check against that, go ahead and plug them in, and bring you back and kind of give you a quick rundown of this book. Alright, so the shield scents are plugged into the album, and I'll go ahead and kind of give a quick overview of the ones that are in there. That 2012 could probably be upgraded. The 13 is pretty decent. The 14 could probably use an upgrade. Same with the 14 Denver. 16 and on up are pretty nice. Probably won't have to upgrade any of these. Maybe some of the Denvers. That 18 possibly could be upgraded. The 19 Denver does need an upgrade. Still missing that 2020 Denver. And the 21s are looking pretty nice. 22, I really still like that color on that one. Nice Denver there. The 24s look great. There's a little bit of a chatter mark on that 24 Denver. And then the 25 could probably use a little upgrade. It's not the perfect coin, but it's the only one I've found so far. And then the reverses look really nice as well. And again, that one right there, I believe is, let's see, that is the 21, and that has that really nicely orange toned reverse. That one, again, could use an upgrade. I think that's a Denver. A bit of orange tone on that one. And then up here, I think these are the 17s. No, actually, no, they're going to be a little earlier than that. Nicely toned there. Same on that 2010. It's got a nice tone reverse as well. And there we have it for the shield scent. So I'll go ahead and sort the memorials, and I'll bring you back in with the second album. Okay, so here's the early 2000s. So both 2000s. 2001 Philly, no Denver. 2002s. Denver looks a little rough. No 2003s. Both 2004s. Both 5s. Both 6s. No 2007 Philly. I had one, but it had a big old thumbprint on it, and I just didn't want that one. Both 2008s, and then one 2009. And this one, I believe, is the... Yep, it's the Lincoln on a Log. I can't remember the name of this one. I think it's the Early Childhood or something like that. But yeah, so there's the early 2000s. I'll go ahead and do the 90s, and then the 80s, 70s, and 60s, and we will put them all into this Dansko, and I'll bring you in for a final wrap-up on those. There are the 90s, very light on the Denvers, but we had every one of the Philadelphias for the decade that we can plug in there. Now, they're not all the greatest. That 91 and the 90 has a fingerprint on it, but they're nice enough to put in there for now. And we only had the two Denvers, the 93 Denver and the 95 Denver. So a little light on those. Give us something to look for in future boxes, and I'll go ahead and move on to the 80s. All right, so here's the rest of the coins that I have. So there's all of the 80s, and the 82s still need some work. The 82 large date, small dates are looking a little rough. But other than that, got all the Philadelphias. Got an 88 Denver, 85 Denver, the two small and large date 82s. And then for the 70s, I had a 70 Philadelphia and Denver, 72 Philly, 73 Philly and Denver. The 73 is kind of red-brown. Had a 75, a 76, 78, 79, and 79 Denver. Again, the 79 Denver is red-brown. And then three nice bright red 60s, so a 60 large date, 68, and then a 69 Denver. So let me go ahead and get all these put into the album, and I'll bring you in for a wrap-up. And just like that, the Dansko is filled in with our finds from the hunt. The 62 here was a pre-existing find. I had that, actually got that one in pocket change, and it was nice enough I decided to put it in. But we added the 60 large date, the 68, 69 Denver, the 70 Denver, which is it's probably brown, but it's got really nice luster, as you can see from that one. Added in the 71S, the 72, which is really nice. 73 again is brown, but it's got pretty decent luster on it. 73 Denver, and I'll show you the reverses as well. So 60 large date, 62, and then the 68 down here. 69 Denver, and then you get to that 70, and it, obviously it needs to be upgraded. And we got some nice ones in here. Got some nice tone to it. I believe that is the 72. Or no, this is the 72. And it, like I said, is really nice. Got that beautiful orange tone to it. And then the 73 and 73 Denver. And then we added the 75 Denver, and 76. The 78 and 79. 79 Denver is brown, but again, very lustrous. So that's why it's in there. The 80, very nice red coin. 81. 82 large date copper. 82 small date copper. And if I have these backwards, I'm trying to keep them straight, but this is not my specialty. So 82 small date zinc, which unfortunately has some spots on it, as does the 82 large date copper. And then the 82 Denver small date zinc, that's just a placeholder. That one's not going to stay, but it was just one for in there right now. Really, really nice 83. The one I found for this hunt did not upgrade that. That one again came from pocket change. But the 84, 85, 85 Denver, 86, 87, 88, and 88 Denver, all of those came from this hunt. And again, as you can see, got some really nice reverses, a couple that need to be upgraded, and a couple that are really nice. Again, nice tone on this one as well. Got some. I probably should do a better job of keeping these in order, but this was a lot of additions for one hunt because it's the first box of the album. So there's a lot that's going to get added in here, and then it should get less and less with each hunt. And then we've got the 89, which again has some spots on it. 90, 91. So most of these are pretty nice. After, I'll say the 89, most of these are pretty nice and shouldn't need to be upgraded. At 99, again, has some really nice, pretty orange tone to it. 2000s look really nice. And all of the reverses are really nice on here. That one's probably the weakest one on the whole page, and even still, it's nice. And again, got some nice tone to that one. And on the last page, didn't have a 2007, and we only had the one 2009. But got both 2008s, and they're all nice. So 2007 Denver, 2008, and 2008 Denver. And then this one's not the nicest coin, but it is decent enough for right now. It is red, so that's why it's in there. 2007 Denver probably needs to be upgraded because it looks like it may have a little bit of rim corrosion. But overall, pretty good start on this album. Really good start on this one. Very few holes left. There are some, so I have something to look for in the next box. But not bad for a single box hunt. If you enjoyed this, I know this one was very much different from a normal hunt, but if you did enjoy it, please hit the thumbs up. If you'd like to see more, please consider subscribing. This is not the last penny box hunt I will be doing this year. I'm trying to get another one, and I will do it in a more traditional hunt style. So again, if you enjoyed it, please hit the thumbs up, and thanks for watching.